Homicide Squad detectives have taken over the investigation into missing person Gillian Meagher. Gillian was last seen at Bar Etiquette in Sydney Road, Brunswick, in the early hours of Saturday morning. She has not been sighted since. This morning, a handbag was located in a laneway off Hope Street in Brunswick, and we've recently confirmed that the contents of that handbag belonged to Gillian. Gillian was out with friends that evening, had contacted her husband earlier in the evening, and when she didn't return home, he went looking for her. Gillian's husband, Mr. Meagher, reported Gillian missing to the Brunswick Police later that day. Detectives have established a crime scene at the site where the handbag was located, in the hope that we'll glean something from that scene. We're also conducting a line search of that area, and we'll be particularly interested in CCTV in the vicinity of Hope Street and of Sydney Road. So we're appealing for anyone that may be able to help us with regard to Gillian's disappearance. We're particularly interested to hear from anyone from Bar Etiquette that may have seen Gillian in the early hours of Saturday morning or walking along Sydney Road in Brunswick. We believe Bar Etiquette is about 700 metres as the crow flies to Gillian's home, but she never made it that far. The site where the handbag was found is slightly off the normal route Gillian would take. However, Hope Street is a street that she may have used in heading home. We believe she may have been on foot. Gillian was last seen wearing a blue dress, a black jacket and high heels. We're appealing for anyone with any information that can assist us to ring Crime Stoppers. Any questions?
Has anyone come forward yet? Any witnesses come forward at all?
Nobody has come forward. We've spoken to colleagues and they've helped us to a degree. The point that she leaves Bar Etiquette, it's around about 1:30 or so on Saturday morning. She indicates she's happy to walk home alone, and she was last seen walking in Sydney Road.
What time, you say her husband went out looking for her. Do you know what time that was?
It was during the morning when he realised she wasn't home. I understand he was out sometime after 4 in the morning. We're not exactly sure of that. We'll be talking to Mr. Meagher again today.
What was in the handbag? What contents were in it?
I can't be specific, I don't know, but I understand they were identity documents.
So the mobile phone?
I'm not sure about the phone. The phone, there's been a number of attempts over the weekend to contact Gillian by the phone. The phone appears to be switched off.
So did she actually have that on her? She said she only had a bank card and clothing at the time.
Now clearly she would have had a handbag. The handbag is found in the laneway off Hope Street, and we're making the assumption that she had that handbag with her during the evening. But again, we have to clarify that with witnesses.
Is there anything else found in the laneway?
Not at this stage. We've roped that off as a crime scene. We're looking for potential clues at the moment.
Any clothing found in the laneway?
Not at this point.
And just to confirm, that mobile phone was, you don't know if that was in the handbag or not?
I don't know whether the phone was in the handbag. What I do know is that the attempts to phone that phone have failed through the early hours of Saturday morning right through the weekend.
Have you traced it yet, or have you traced her, seen if she's accessed her bank account?
We've had some preliminary advice back that she has not accessed anything in her bank accounts at this point. We're making further inquiries again today to see if there's been any further movement.
Have you found anything to suggest violence or a clear abduction? Any signs of violence?
We haven't found anything physical, but the very circumstances of the case is worrying. So as a result of that, today the Homicide Squad Missing Persons Unit have taken over the case, and we're hopeful for the best, obviously, but we have some concerns that she may have met with foul play.
Did police go down, considering it was such a short distance from the pub to her home, did police go down and have a look yesterday? I mean, and have a look around?
I believe so, yes. They certainly did. And they also conducted a number of inquiries with hospitals, with taxi companies, with Gillian's husband, and all to no avail at this point.
What was it, from what you've spoken to her colleagues about, what was her demeanour before she left? Had she been drinking? Was she intoxicated? Was she happy? Was she sad? Have they given any indication?
Well, they indicated that they'd had a night out, obviously had consumed some alcohol. We're not able to make an assessment on that at this point, but by all accounts she was quite happy and friendly with her colleagues.
How many people was she with before she left Bar Etiquette?
I understand at Bar Etiquette it was around about the 4, possibly less. We've got to clarify that because they had been at various other establishments, including a hotel called the Brunswick Green, which is nearby. They'd left the Brunswick Green and had walked the short distance to Bar Etiquette and then finished there, we understand, around about 1:30 on the morning of the day she disappeared.
Do you have CCTV of her leaving?
We believe, we've certainly attempted to get that. We believe Brunswick, the Bar Etiquette has no CCTV.
Have you spoken to management at the bar? Have they said staff saw her or saw her?
We've spoken to a number of people and we're continuing to retrace her steps. At this point in time, we haven't got anything of an obvious nature in terms of a sighting.
Are there any persons of interest, even along that street, any known sort of scumbags who you might be having a chat with today?
No.
Is there any CCTV vision of her walking along Sydney Road?
We haven't got any at this point. As part of our job today is to attempt to identify any potential CCTV sites and in part to finalise the crime scene just off Hope Street.
You mentioned that Hope Street isn't the usual way that she would take home. Is there any indication why she may have gone that way? The lighting, perhaps?
Well, I think Hope Street is a way that she could go. I don't think I said that. Hope Street is a reasonably direct route off Sydney Road to her home. She lives down in a street off Hope Street. So it's reasonable to assume she would walk up Sydney Road and then left into Hope Street and along there. It would presumably be the best lit, potentially the safest route.
So John, are you still looking for her phone?
Yes, we are at this stage. I haven't been able to confirm whether that phone has been located. So at this point in time, it's potentially still missing.
How can you go about that?
Well, the phone is turned off. That creates problems for us.
Would you reasonably expect that a woman in her situation walking from Sydney Road to a nearby house would be fairly safe, that they could feel safe in that environment at night?
Yes, I believe they could. Having said that, we don't know what's happened to Gillian, and we don't know the circumstances of her disappearance. But normally, people do walk around there. It's a relatively busy time and a busy place, I'm told, in the early hours of Saturday morning.
Considering the circumstances, is it fair for the community to be quite worried about what's happened? Any advice or words for them?
Well, I think it's always concern to the community when something like this happens. The biggest problem is we don't know what happened to Gillian. So I would say people should be cautious when walking along the street at night. If indeed she has been picked up by somebody, or she's seen somebody she knows, or something's happened to her that's caused her disappearance. We don't know at this point.
There was something reported in the Herald Sun about her having some sort of a midlife crisis of some sort. Have you heard anything about that? Or?
No, I'm not aware of any of that.
Whereabouts was the handbag exactly found? Was it hidden in public view? Or?
I'm told it was near a car in a laneway off Hope Street. A person that was going past saw it there and was able to alert police.
And it's got licence or...
It's got identity documents in it, so clearly that handbag belonged to Gillian.
Anything physical of her there?
Not at this point, not that I'm able to say, but we've obviously established a crime scene. We've got forensic specialists on site, and we'll be examining that scene in detail.
Great.
I'd just like to say before I finish, potentially somebody knows what's happened to Gillian. That person or persons should contact Crime Stoppers. It's not too late to tell us, or indeed if Gillian can hear this, please contact us. Thank you.